What's up, guys? Rattail here, and today we are going to be talking about my top 10 favorite slashers to watch on VHS. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, first one, let's see, we got a couple stacks here. We'll kick it off with Killer Workout. Let you guys get a nice little look at that. I got it in the plastic protective packaging there. Put out by Academy, one of my favorite VHS distribution companies. This one right here also went by the name of Aerobicide, and it was put out in 1987, same year I was born, actually. This is a rad little slasher that takes place inside of a workout facility. Tons of great gore, tons of great kills, awesome 80s vibes, directed by none other than David A. Pryor, the same guy that also directed Sledgehammer. That was his first film, which was a shot on video. One of my favorite shot on videos and one of my favorite VHS tapes in my collection. So, shout out to David A. Pryor for making awesome movies like this, and Sledgehammer, and many others. So yeah, definitely check that one out if you get a chance to. It's not that easy to find on VHS, but it's not impossible either, so it's definitely attainable. And next up, we're gonna do Madhouse. This is a cool little Italian slasher here. Put out in, what was it, 1981. And the director of this one, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, Ovidio G. Assonitis? I don't want to say Assonitis. Assonitis? I don't know, man. I'm not, I don't speak Italian, but he's a dope movie director because he made this dope little flick right here. I love watching this on VHS, and I love the art there. Really cool, crisp looking art on that tape there. I really like this one. Give you guys a little up close of the back there. And this one's actually about a woman that's being pursued by her psychopathic twin sister. And it's in the days leading up to their shared birthday. I haven't seen this one in a while. It's been a while, but I remember loving this one. I remember loving the atmosphere on it. And I like that director. He's done a couple other things. Can't remember off the top of my head, but I know he's done a couple other gems too. So look out for that director. And definitely look out for this film because it's an awesome slasher, especially to watch on VHS, put out in the 80s. So check that one out if you get a chance. Look at the awesome little decapitated head there on the cover. Bam, letting you know what you're in for. And next up, we're going to follow that one with one of my all-time favorites right here, The House on Sorority Row. A little bit of a faded cover there on my VHS tape, as you can see. But it almost kind of adds a little bit of character to it, if you know what I'm saying. Put out by Vestron on this one. This is a Vestron release. I love those Vestrons, even though the stickers tend to fall off. Not this one, though. Not this one. Okay. Doing it right, Vestron. This one was put out by Mark Rosman. I'm not sure if he did any other flicks. I'm not very familiar with him, to be honest. It was put out in 1982. And it's, I'm going to give you guys just a quick synopsis here. After a seemingly innocent prank goes horribly wrong, a group of sorority sisters are stalked and brutally murdered one by one in their sorority house during their grad party. And I remember this one having a really, rad twist ending. I can't remember what it is, and I'd rather not give it away anyways. I'd rather you watch it for yourselves. It's a rad movie. Put out in the beginning of the 80s. These are all pretty much 80s flicks that we're going over here. And they're all awesome. This one's like a mystery slasher vibe, so definitely check this one out. House on Sorority Row has the Rattail seal of approval. Seal of approval. Definitely check that out right there. Good one. Next up, and moving right along, we have Sweet 16. This is one that I'm trying to bring up movies that I feel don't get a lot of love, don't get brought up on slashers lists that I see very often. I see a lot of B-movie slasher lists, and some of these get looked over, and I'm trying to show them some love and let some people know that there's more movies out there that are awesome and deserve your attention. And this is one of them. This is Sweet 16. This is put out by Jim Sotos in 1982. Quick synopsis on this one. It's about a teenager named Melissa who moves into a small town filled with racial prejudice and bullying, and every time she meets up with one of the boys in town, they end up disappearing. And she has no idea what's going on. It's got a mystery vibe to it, backwoods kind of vibe, little racial tensions going on, and definitely a slasher vibe to it as well. Really love this one, really dig it, highly recommended. Sweet 16. 1982 there. Next up, and since this is just after Valentine's Day, a lot of people were popping this one on, those slasher couples out there. People with the girlfriends that are into horror movies, this is a great one to watch on Valentine's Day. Psychos in Love, put out by Wizard Video. This one's awesome right here. I got it in the protective case because it's a wizard. And wizards are dope. And this is a really dope wizard because it's also a good movie, not just a cool looking tape, you know what I mean? So, this one's put out in 1987. Director Gorman Bacard. This one's about a strip club owner and a manicurist that find that they have a lot more in common than they ever knew. And mainly that they're both psychotic serial killers. So they fall in love and they go on a killing spree together until one day they meet up with a plumber who happens to be a cannibal. So yeah, that's Psychos. That's a little summary for you of Psychos in Love. Definitely one to watch on Valentine's Day if you guys are both into that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Moving right along here, we have another one that does not get enough love. And this is Freeway Maniac. Media video right here. Freeway Maniac. Awesome little B slasher, mindless fun right here. That's really what it is. You can see what you're getting right there on the back, and it definitely delivers the goods. This one's put out in 1989. The director of this one is Paul Winters. And this one's about a crazed serial killer that sneaks into the set of a tripped out. It's like a B movie, sci-fi movie inside of this movie. There's like a B sci-fi film within it. That's actually kind of cool. And this killer sneaks on the set and he's like just murdering the hell out of people, you know? And it's there's not much more to it besides that, except for that he's driving this. There's this big rig scene going on where he's driving that, and it's awesome. So look out for that. Look out for the movie, gore, 80s vibes, cheese. If you're into that, check it out, man. And even if you're not, just check it out anyway. You won't regret it. Trust me. These are all just great movies. And some are horrible, but they're very entertaining if viewed from the proper perspective. And B-movie fans, you know what I'm talking about out there. So, shout out to all of you. Next up, and moving right along here, we've got Horror House on Highway 5. And we'll touch on that actually later. We'll touch on that later. I was going to touch on something, but we're going to touch on it later. Okay, it's not time to touch on that. This one actually has a serial killer who rocks like a Ronald Reagan mask and runs around just butchering the hell out of people. Really cool art here on the cover. And they may look familiar. And we'll touch on that shortly. Why that may look familiar. This one was put out by, this is directed by Richard Casey. And it was put out in 1985. 1985. Little summary for you on this one. A van full of college students getting terrorized by a crazed killer in a Richard Nixon mask. And that's really all it is. That's really what it is. It's a simple one, and that's all you need sometimes, you know? That's really all you need. Some teenagers, a killer, and you know, there you go. Some annoying teenagers that just need, you know, to learn a lesson. All right, moving right along. Number 8, we've got Slumber Party Massacre 2. And you can definitely see what you're getting into with that cover. Lots of TNA in this one. You know what I mean? You got a killer, supernatural, rockabilly, driller killer type dude. You know what I mean? He's got his electric guitar. It's got a drill on the end. You know what you're getting into. This one's put out also in 1987. It's a very popular year for slashers, as you can tell. And this one was directed by a female, actually, by the name of Deborah Brock. And the synopsis on this one, quick little summary. Courtney Bates, the younger sister of Valerie, and her friends go to a condo for a weekend getaway, only to end up getting stalked by a supernatural rockabilly driller killer that I just told you about. And he's got this cool electric guitar drill, man, and he tears it up. He gets down with the get down. It's a good movie. Check it out if you like. If you want your slasher with a little side of TNA and you don't take them too serious. It's a fun one. It's really entertaining though, and definitely worth a watch. Check that one out for sure. What was the name of that one again? Where did it go? Where did it go? Okay, it's around here. Next up, moving along, we've got Fade to Black. Media White Stripe right here, actually, is a Media White Stripe. This one was put out in 1980 by directed by Vernon Zimmerman. And the summary on this one is a shy, introverted film buff embarks on a killing spree against those who have betrayed him and wronged him. And all the while, he's stalking his crush, who happens to be a Marilyn Monroe lookalike. This one's great for all the film buffs out there. This one has tons of movie references. If you're into that kind of thing, if you're a film buff like I am, definitely check this out. Fade to Black, Media White Stripe, beautiful tape, and a beautiful film. Really, this is a well-made slasher. I really like this one. It's not just the typical mindless slasher. This one actually has like some intellect and thought really put into it. So if you're looking for that, bam, Fade to Black. There you go. And last but definitely not least, because this is my favorite slasher of all time, Alone in the Dark, 1982, director Jack Shoulder. This is like, let's see, if One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was a slasher film, bam, that's what it would be. It would be Alone in the Dark. That's what, but it's not comedy, you know what I mean? It's 4 lunatics, they escape from the loony bin and they go hunt down the doctor, and you know, they run up on his pad, his house, his place of residence, and they shut it down, you know what I mean? And if you're thinking, hey, that looks familiar, that cover art, bam, look at that. Will you look at that? Somebody's copying somebody. I don't know what's going on here. We need to talk about it. What is going on? Same cover art, you know what I mean? Someone's got a little drill mechanism here, and someone's got an axe over here. Very similar, right? Right? I don't know. Not pointing any fingers here. But yeah, this is my all-time favorite slasher. Definitely check this one out. Definitely check out all of those videos that I just recommended to you guys. And if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and leave a comment below letting me know what you think, what you want to see in the future, any other top 10s that you want to see with VHS or DVD or any other format. We've got multiple formats here, so go ahead and do all that. I hope you guys have a good one.